What it is, what it was, what it could be, y'all. Welcome back to Disc Golf Justice. This past weekend, I competed in a little pop-up event that we had here in Sydney called the Shire Shakedown. And before the event started, we actually had a come and try so new people can come and try out disc golf. But only 2 new people came and gave it a crack. But after the come and try, I competed in the advanced division. I thought I had a chance to win it, but then Jade Brady showed up, and I knew there was no chance of me winning after that. It was a fun little course, though. None of the holes were too long. I think the longest hole was like 153 meters or something like that, but it had some good elevation changes, a lot of downhill shots that I really liked. It was a pretty nice little course for a pop-up event. Starting out on hole 1, all the distances were pretty short. I didn't even bother putting them I didn't bother putting them on there, but starting on this little hole where you have a little cutout out of the trees, it was really fun to throw out. The basket is down the hill. There was no way to frame this up so that you could see it, but I threw my Katuku, left it a bit short. I'm probably C2 or edge of circle at least, but I'm feeling confident in the putt. But this is also the first putt of the tournament. Leave it short, hitting bottom cage, but that's all right. Start off with the par. I mean, you can't really ever be unhappy with starting off with the par, as long as you don't start with the bogey. This hole was another one. We didn't have a lot of tee pad room, I noticed, so didn't get to put the camera behind me. It was a very tight gap off that tee. I ended up clipping some of the branches. But this is a pretty gettable par 4. Like, even if you smash first available on this hole, you have a good chance of getting up and down for par. So it's a pretty easy birdie. I'm glad it was my second hole, and I put my zone up right next to the basket, grab that sneaky little birdie there, get that confidence going. Hole 3. Well, this isn't actually hole 3. It's the third hole I started on. It was another shotgun start tournament. But I throw my felon, hit my line pretty much exactly how I want. Nice skip, but just a bit short. When I threw that same one, I played like 2 holes for a practice round, and this was one of those holes. But I threw that same shot and it actually went long. This putt, man, I'm telling you, that was about to be freaking chains. I'm looking around like, who put that damn tree branch there, bruh? That thing was not there 2 seconds ago. That thing was about to be straight chains, I'm telling you. But another par. The course is pretty attackable. Look at it. This is a pretty wide open hole, downhill. It's like probably like 110 meters. I think I threw the felon again on a big hyzer. I like these open holes. This is the 1-year anniversary as I'm playing this of me playing disc golf. And looking back at a newer to Disc Golf Justice, I would have thrown something like straight at it, because that's what my game was before. But I've learned over this past year that hyzer is a much more consistent shot, because even if you miss your line, it's fine. This hole was a mando left of this tree, but then it hooks to the right really hard. I almost hit this perfectly with a wild honey. I tried doing a flip up turnover, but just turned too quickly and got into the tree, and then made the second shot a really long one. But it is a par 4, so throw my zone. Check out that new zone. Y'all see that new zone? It is pretty. I got the blue one now. Y'all got to keep an eye out for that. But I leave myself pretty wide, so for a birdie putt, I got a circles edger. Bang. We put it in there. It's really mucky right there. I had to do the old hobble to get through there. Grab my birdie putt, baby. We neg 3. Going on to the next hole. Since I didn't get a practice round any of this, the course was set up like 30 minutes before we started playing. I didn't really know what disc to throw on a lot of these. I threw my Pathfinder on a hyzer, and I hit my line beautifully, but that was just way too much disc for that hole. And I'm actually smacked that tree, and I'm glad it did, because I would have went so far past the basket. This is definitely a putter type hole, and probably a low power putter hole. I got a tricky putt here for a bird, though, since smashing that tree. I got a branch right in my face. I have to get low, and I got this, I do the straddle putt. I got this grass right in my straddle, so I'm like, just play catch, bang, neg 4. Go on, son. What's that? Is that the train too? I think I might have hopped on the train there. This hole was a real tricky one. I didn't realize how quickly to the right the basket went. I threw my justice on a forehand, and off the tee, I'm thinking I drilled my line. I'm really happy with that. I'm like, yep, that should be good. And then I get down there, I'm like, whoa, the basket is not where I thought. My disc is not where I thought. Now we got a super long C2 birdie putt. I give it a run, but I actually didn't make any C2 putts this tournament, which was surprising. I went like over 3 or 4, and that's been feeling like the strongest part of my game lately. So that was odd for me, but it's all right. We only took 1 bogey the entire tournament, but like I said, fairly attackable course. This next one, I'm taking the Photon, drill my line perfectly, but I just threw it too low. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I would have got that up. Get it up on some Viagra shit, bro. Come on. Mario keen to throw, hopping on that box real quick. I'm taking my justice, trying to do like a hyzer, skip it around. This is another hole where it would have paid off to do a practice round because I'm thinking the basket's right behind these shrubs right here. So I throw this. It actually comes a little more inside than I was expecting, but I'm thinking that was perfect. I'm like, that should be in prime position. And then it turns out, if you look to the far right of the screen, the basket's way over there. So I'm like, damn, I wasn't even close. Plus, I'm in the thick of this. So I'm taking my get freaky zone, throwing the forehand, trying to float it over there. My forehand all day was feeling horrible. I don't know what's going on with my forehand. I need to go out and do some field work, but my forehand feels like it's gone. Left myself with probably a 6-meter par save there, but I knock it down. Next hole, I'm taking... Oh, this was actually a tough shot. I didn't really know how to go about this one because you can't really see these branches up here, but there's some low-hanging branches that make the hyzer shot pretty hard to do. And ended up trying to... It got in my head. I kept it too low and swung it out too wide. But I'm kind of licking my chops at this putt. I've been feeling really confident from C2. And I'm like dead center, but hit the pole too low. Yeah, none of them was falling. None of them, those C2s was falling today. The putt still felt pretty good. It's just the C2s, my bread and butter wasn't going in, man. Next one, another par 4, gettable par 4. Pretty much all the par 4s on this course were eagleable. Like if you can get down there, it's a good chance you can get the eagle. I throw this one freaking nose up to the sky. But since it's so drastically downhill, my Photon ends up turning off to the right quite a bit, even though I threw it on a hyzer line. Flipped up, turned with the nose up and all. Now I got to throw my second shot with the zone with this giant fucking horse coming at me. Throw my zone and get a nice little kick off the tree actually that slows it down just enough to leave me with probably like a 7-8 meter birdie putt. I'm thinking, yes, we need to knock this in. Come on. But I can always tell when I'm watching this stuff when I putt when it's not going to go in, because sometimes I don't come up all the way with my legs and I don't follow through all the way. I can just tell that it's going to be left short by my body motions there. But this next hole, this is actually the hole 1, but I don't know what hole we on now. I know it's a forehand hole. I have to throw it, but like I said, my forehand's, I don't know what's going on with it right now. I just turned my zone over. Get freaky zone, just right on over, fluttered it up and over. My releases are just terrible. But I got a C2 look. This one feels good at the hand. I'm like, come on, man. Give me something, bro. One of these got to drop. One of these got to drop. I'm usually good for, not usually. Lately, I've been good for like 1 C2 putt at least around. So I'm like, come on. One of these got to drop. Downhill hole, but you don't want to go. It's easy to go long past the basket. It was a short hole, so you don't want to go too long. Take my get freaky, get a weird kick off of this tree, and I didn't know if I could move this log. It's dead, but I decided not to move it. There was some wind blowing at the beginning of that, so I was kind of just waiting it out. Got that bird though. We like that. What are we, -5 or something now? Where we going? Oh, I'm going another big hyzer with the Katuku. I think I'm going to start going back to a slower approach, run up, like on my backhands. I don't know. The twinkle toe stuff, I don't know how it's... Like, it's working. Like, my stuff be going pretty well, but I don't know. I feel like when I watch all the pros, most of them have a slow approach. Anyway, we banging birdies right there. 6 of them. That was a nice putt, wasn't it? That was like 7, 8 maybe meters. This one was a low ceiling. Plus, it's going downhill. And I got in my head, I'm like, damn. Like, the forehand's probably the play here, but like I said, my forehand, it was absent, MIA, all day. And it's been gone for a couple days now. But I do get it low enough. I keep it low. I snagged a couple of those leaves there, but ends up being just fine. Actually go slightly long, leaving myself with like a, I don't know, 6 meter birdie putt. But the putt's been feeling good inside the circle today, so we smashed that one home. I can tell that one was going in because like I didn't alligator arm it or leave it short. Like, I can always tell my body my body motions when I'm gonna be leaving that stuff short. This hole, I think my GoPro died. I ended up throwing an MV long, but it bounced off the tree and came back to the basket. It was a beautiful little tree kick. I appreciate it. Otherwise, I would have been super long. Smash that birdie, and we negate. Let's go. 8 of them things. Ooh, that boy feeling confident, but he shouldn't be, because now we have the long version of that one super to the right hole. It was only 9 baskets, 18 tee pads. Take the best disc in the game, the Couture, but it just slips out of my hand on the forehand. That was not the disc at all. That was 110% me. The second I released it, it just slipped right out of my hand. Yeah, that disc is stable. So now I'm in the bush. I know this is at best a bogey. I take my trash panda. I'm trying to do like a turnover and let it like throw it. You know how when you throw a frisbee straight up in the air, like come back to you? I was trying to do that, but it didn't really come back. I ended up just, sailing it past the basket quite a ways. And then I try to make the par save for C2. I don't know what the heck that was, bro. I just turfed it. Now I'm got like a 7-8 meter putt for birdie. For bogey. To save the bogey. It barely sneaks in there. And of course, I was when that hole started, I was in second place by 2 strokes to Mario, who was on my card. But then I just took that bogey, and of course he birdied the hole. So now we're even. This hole, I tried taking my zone, missed my line, too far to the inside, smash a tree. Now I got absolutely no look. I'm going to take my Justice, try to skip it around this corner right back to the basket. I actually execute it pretty perfectly, leaving myself with a fairly easy par save. But of course, Mario threw a freaking dime. See that green disc up there by the basket? That was his tee shot. So I take my par, and he's gonna smash in this birdie and take a 1-stroke lead on me for second place. Now I'm in second and third. And now we're on to the final hole. I'm looking at this as a forehand hole. My forehand's MIA, so my confidence stepping up to this hole is MIA. And I already know what's going to happen, and it happens. I turn my zone over. I'm like, golly, man, what is wrong with my forehand? What is wrong with it? Not that it was ever that great. It's just, this is pretty bad. C2 putt. I should cash this in. It's been feeling really good lately, but I guess we're just freaking throwing layups now. I don't know. Mario smashes in his birdie. He takes a 2-stroke lead on me for second place. Jade Brady ran away with this one. Absolutely ran away with it. I take my par. End up tying for third place. Paul Caminos caught me on the last hole. He was neg 6. I was neg 7. On the last hole, he got a birdie. Tied us up, but playing in the advanced division, I'm not upset with that. Keeping the podium streak alive, keeping it kicking. I knew as soon as Jade showed up that there was no chance I was winning this, so it was just gonna be a fight for second place. And Mario and I really battled it out. It was a really fun card, and Mario's a heck of a player. He's got a really good forehand, so he really deserved that second place today. Shout out to the Sydney Disc Golf Club for running this pop-up event. Hopefully for the next come and try event, we can, I don't know, I feel like we could do a little bit better than how we did it. We could offer starter sets to people walking along the streets, like, hey, if you can make it inside the circle, if you make 2 putts, you get the starter set, or you get this disc. I think that's probably a better way to go about it. You get more engagement, but having an event is better than not having an event at all, and the tournament afterwards is really fun. So if you guys like the video, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. If you want to see more, make sure you smash that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future content. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.